Well, we have a very special guest today for any of the VFFs who stuck around. The one and the only, the grumpiest of the grumps. And he can tell you carnies what you can do.
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
Carnies can fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves.
This is a show for vegans. This is a show for vegans. This is a show for
You know, it's been almost a month and a week since I've seen Grumpy Vegan Granddad, and I didn't realize you have such an incredible stash going.
Yeah, baby. Look at that. Oh, it's backwards. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dang, you look
I'm
at
looking.
a luscious grove.
It is, isn't it?
It really is.
Look.
Maybe I should
Oh,
face
you got
this.
sunshine there as well. We've got sunshine. You got sunshine there. I've got sunshine.
Well, I'm in Virginia, and we're it's an interesting place. I'm trying to face the sun now, so maybe you might be able to see me a bit better. But in Virginia, I'm doing outreach at the university, so it's been really fun. Have you been following the story at all? I've been going from campus to campus all around America, where I am reaching out to the youths, to the voices of tomorrow, trying to get them to stop experimenting on animals.
Oh, so it's literally just no, I haven't. I'm really sorry. I haven't been
No,
following
it's
it,
okay.
this guy.
No,
I've been
it's
quite
all
busy.
right. It's only been
Um,
going on for a week or so.
But yeah, it's really good that you're doing that. And how have you found it? Can you relate to young people being as old as you are?
Yeah.
You keep coming up with like weird stuff from the 70s and 80s that they don't get.
I don't know. They all come up and call me daddy, so I think it's
Oh no, don't say that. Don't say that, Sky. Don't say that. That's creepy. That's creepy shit, mate.
no,
Don't say that.
they're super receptive. It's pretty cool because they come up to me and they're interested in what's going on. A lot of I'll be honest, like a lot of we have some people who are younger on the crew, and like the 19-year-olds will like go to them, but like the people who are graduating, they seem to gravitate toward me, and so it's actually a really good mix. Yeah, I've had some really cool interactions, some negative ones too, but mostly really positive. And nobody wants to test on friggin' animals. Animal testing is wrong. Everyone knows it. It doesn't work. Everyone knows that at this point. So it's up to people of this, of this age range, people going into these careers to actually make a difference. And maybe we'll finally get it done.
What your audience is like? How big are you? What sort of groups are you speaking to?
Well, right now it's all like they park us. We have this van. Looks like a UFO, and it's got a big UFO on the side of this big box truck. And we park in an area that's really well trafficked. So we park like this at William and Mary. We parked right in their quad by their dining hall where they pick up their mail and everything. So I think we've seen every student that goes to William and Mary. I'm actually kind of worried about what the heck we're gonna do today, since I think we've seen everybody. There's only 4,000 students here, and I think we've met every one of them. But I'm hoping that maybe some people who haven't done the virtual reality experience haven't. That maybe now they'll be like, okay, third day, they feel a little bit more comfortable. They'll like, okay, we'll do the virtual reality. I'm hoping that will happen because it's cool, Dan. You put on a virtual reality goggles, and you get abducted by aliens, and through that analogy, we're saying this is what happens to animals every day, right here on campus, all over America. This is what's happening. And so
Yeah, and it's purely for money. It's purely for dough because it's not necessary.
it's entirely unnecessary. Yeah.
They don't even need now with the models they've got. We've got computerized models. They can do all the tests they need, and nothing translates to humans.
None of
Nothing
it.
translates to humans. So they still got to test on humans anyway. And it's all a big thing. It's all about these girls and guys sort of getting their degrees by doing experiments on animals, and they'll go, right, okay, let's see what what this chemical will do to a rabbit's eyes,
Yeah,
and you'd have to do it for the dissertation, and it's
right.
just
That's what's really messed up about it is that, like, okay, the animal exploitation crew, the people who are breeding these animals, they're making money, but the scientific community doesn't want to do it anymore because they know it's bullshit. Meanwhile, if you want to get into that career, you're going to have to publish a paper. How are you going to publish a paper? You're going to have to test on animals. It makes no sense because we all know the animal testing's bullshit. So it's like it's on autopilot, like they've been doing it so long and they don't know how to get out of this horrible cycle. Well, PETA and the National Institutes of Health have have a research modernization deal where they talk about organs on chips, which is fascinating technology, but also just like AI could tell you if something is fatal or not at this point. Protein molding and folding can tell you if something's fatal or not. And they're saying microdose. If it's not fatal, then you can microdose in humans. And I was like, damn, that's mind blowing. Why the fuck didn't I think of that? Like that's so obvious that that's the answer. And yet we're stuck in this brutal cycle, like so many things, right? There's so many things like that. We're just stuck in this cycle of BS and brutality.
so. How do you feel about tackling a single issue? How is it fitting in with your animal rights and vegan outreach? How's that fitting in with that? What's happening?
Well, I mean, I'm paid to do a job. That's something, first of all, it's like I'd rather be paid to talk about a single issue than paid to, I don't know, work at a grocery store or do something that I think isn't making a difference.
Of course.
And so that's kind of how, but the truth is, Dan, so many people ask me about veganism. So it's like, okay, we're here talking about that. And it's interesting because some people, like yesterday, a guy came up to me and he's like, so you think that people eat meat? It's just like, no hello, no how you doing, just so you think people eat meat are lesser than you and are evil? And I went, well, I'm here talking about laboratory experiments. Are you asking me personally? Because I'm here with PETA talking about laboratory experiments. That's not what we're here to talk about. And so he goes, oh, well, what? So you think that people who use don't buy cruelty free are evil and lesser than you? And I said, well, I think if you know better, you do better. And we're here to raise awareness. I think most people don't want to be cruel to animals, so we're here to raise awareness about those things. And he goes, oh, so it's just education? I said, yeah, that's all we're here to do is raise awareness right now. They wouldn't invite us to these college campuses if we were here like forcing people, like, I don't know what they think we're doing. Like, we're here to educate. And that dude all of a sudden asked me all these questions, like really interesting and like not hard questions about veganism, but it totally changed his tune. So I feel like all of a sudden, then that's happened a couple times where people come in hot and then then they're the ones who are asking me about veganism, and I am perfectly suited to talk with them about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
So
course I do. I mean, I always say that you should find any road in
yeah.
to somebody's conscience now, and whether it be health, whether it be environment, if you can't get them with animal rights when we're talking about vegan advocacy,
Yeah.
we try and find a way in somewhere along the line. Have you got grandchildren?
Right.
Somebody put on Instagram post to me. I put a post on about the universities, how all the universities in the UK are saying, look, we are producing these studies that say that unless we all go plant-based, we're going to fuck up the planet. We have actually done them studies. How the fuck can our universities, then serve the exact same product that is causing this problem to our planet? So they're all doing this. They're all saying we need to go plant-based. Now, this guy, a mate of mine, who's always poking me and prodding me, he says, I can't believe that
your mates do that.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe that you're forcing us to eat this and eat that. And I'm like, and I just said one thing to him. I just said, tell your grandchildren that in the future. Do a screenshot and show your grandchildren this in the future. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything else. I didn't say why he should show that to his grandchildren. But it's a way in. It's a way in. You say, have you got grandchildren? Okay. So what happens when we hit that tipping point? The sea levels rise. Property goes through the roof. We're all living back in caves and tents, and we can't afford to eat because that's what will happen if the tipping point's reached. So you should always find a way in, and I think what you're doing there is a really, really nice way in. And like you said, you're not even there for the topic of veganism per se.
Right.
However, people then go on to that. You're in. They start admitting that they
Yeah.
don't like how animals are oppressed and used as experiments in this evil, horrible sort of industry.
Yeah, and it's
And then
interesting.
mm,
So we have these literature goals and like sticker goals, things that we give away. And even though the pamphlets about animal testing, I think we're supposed to give away 200 a day. The Go Vegan guide, 50 a day, man. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So it's not entire, you know what I mean? There's like this secret undercurrent of, yes, we are here for animals in laboratories, but we still want to give away 50 guides to going vegan every day. And I think that's very telling, and it makes me feel good, like I feel kind of, yeah, it jazzes me up a little bit, and the stickers are dope, man. It's a UFO with like that little tractor beam coming down, like that beams people up, and it says, I believe in animal rights. I think that's pretty cool.
sorry, I was just reading a comment by Race Lever. Then he said, if you're going to talk about climate change threats, although animal agriculture is an issue, you're dropping the ball if you're ignoring geoengineering, weather modification, and frequency technology. Yeah, well, when I see the evidence for that, in black and white in front of me, then I may have to sort of like
Well,
have a look at that. But
I don't think anyone's against, technological solutions to the problem. I just think that before we pray to the techno gods that they're going to save us, we should maybe make a couple minor adjustments to our ways of life and, stop eating animals. It seems pretty simple to me. We might not need weather modification and all the rest if we all go vegan. But what about you, man? You've had some big things happen, right?
I'm sort of, I mean, I spent the last couple of weeks met up with 40-year-old vegan David Magina. That was really cool, and it's really strange, Sky. And I think this will happen when. Let me just ask you one vulgar question, right?
Okay, is it about my mustache?
No, I'll whisper so nobody else hears. Right? What are they putting you up in 5-star hotels or in like little hovels?
Well, the next hotel is kind of hovelly. This one was a timeshare, so we kind of got away with a little bit more luxurious on the first one.
I just thought I'd ask, just out of that. What was your question again?
Nothing 5-star.
What I've been up to. I went out with David. And yeah, when you meet people who you've interacted with over the net, and like we are, you just don't feel like strangers. And it's really cool because we met up and we were just like, we're brothers, we were brothers straight away. And it was a really nice feeling. And we got in the car and I was really comfortable with him. Because sometimes I can feel a little bit uncomfortable with people because I don't do small talk. I'm no good at small talk. So when I'm sat in a small environment with somebody else and I don't know them and they're a stranger, it gets really awkward for me.
Yeah.
But it was just like so relaxed and like, hey, David, what you doing? And all this stuff.
So cool.
And yeah, that was really, really enjoyable.
And he brought you a dope hat.
Yeah. And he brought my hat for me. Yeah. I bought him dinner for that. I bought him dinner at this Molino Lounge in Oldham. Bought him a beautiful dinner, and he really enjoyed that. As you'll see on the videos, guys. If you haven't, go to Grumpy Vegan Grandad. Have a look at the couple of videos that I've done with 40-year-old vegan. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. I know Laura. I love Laura. She's my mate.
Who doesn't?
I've got a call back tomorrow for a movie. I'm not going to say too much, but it's filming in Poland.
Exciting.
I have to get my Polish accent to a point. I've got to learn how to roll my R's. So I'm Russia. I'm from Russia. I'm Robert from Russia. So I've got to learn that. And hopefully I'll get the role.
From Russia. It is illegal to make smiles around these places. These parts, we do not like these smiles.
You're just doing Borat. My wife is dead. High five.
High five.
High five. My wife is dead. Yes. I hope she's not here. She walked in, heard me saying that. But so it's really hard with me having such a broad accent. It's very, everything. But I've watched the video. This is a really some of the accent learning videos are really cool. Sky. This
Mhm.
woman, she says how to start off doing the Polish accent. You say exfoliation, exfoliation, exfoliation,
Exfoliation.
exfoliation, because she goes to this beauty parlor where the Russian girls, Polish girls. So do you want your exfoliation? So that gets me into the sort of the routine of talking like this, and I've learned that some of the letters and
Interesting.
diphthongs that the people can't speak are the th, so they say something very close to it, like a d or an s. So over
Yes.
there, you know,
There
and
we have
this.
the nuclear vessels.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, the nuclear vessels. Yes.
The nuclear
No, you're not.
nuclear
Yes.
vessels.
So
Captain.
yes, that will be really cool. I'd love to tell you more about it, people.
Can't
but
wait to find out more about it.
It's amazing. It's set back in quite a bit of time in the past, not near past, not distant past, and it's an amazing story of suffering. And yeah, I really want to do this. It's a full length feature film. It's going to be shown in theaters in the US and the UK, and it's going to be weirdly, even though it's a Polish director, it's going to be shot in English with Polish accents, and then it's going to be dubbed for a Polish audience. So,
That's amazing.
yeah, really interesting. Yeah.
I love that. So, the Animal Rights Club on campus at William and Mary, they're like, oh, we're doing screenings, and I kind of want to do a like a horror movie. Do you know any good ones because for Halloween? And I said, Kiddo, you got to watch Kiddo.
Yeah.
And I said, I might even be able to get the creator to do like a Zoom's like after Q&A with your Animal Rights Club. I think he'd be down for that. She's like, really? Oh my gosh. I said, yeah, let's do it. We could sort something out. And so there's those types of connections are really what it's all about. And I think it's absolutely incredible. The you're making me think of the accent that Chekhov had in Star Trek. You know, Captain, the helm is not responding. Shields, Captain.
I mean, we'll forget the one that's in Braveheart that our friend did.
Exfoliation. Exfoliation, Captain. I never heard Chekhov say exfoliation.
Well, there's been quite a few. I'm not ashamed if I get the accent wrong, because I've seen quite a few high profile actors who've really sort of demolished the accent of the area they're supposed to be in. So, but it's been interesting. It's been interesting for me to find out that I can actually learn. You know, you're always laughing at my American accent, and
only because I love it.
You always slag my accent off. So
you always are slagging. No American says slagging off. So
yes, that's the point. Yeah. So so it just makes me more confident, you know, about doing future stuff. But
I thought about you yesterday because Paul Walker's birthday was, and I think like Paul Walker's the most American accent. He really, dude, I almost had you. Like he has the very California. If you want to know what a California accent is, I think that Paul Walker in the first Fast and Furious movie is exactly the American Californian accent. Dude, I almost had you.
do you know something? Do you know what I found? If you really want to hear the real accent, is listen to children with the accent, because they talk slower and they pronounce more. So
that's been
yeah.
So where I am right now, you know, they're all talking like, hi, y'all. Like, not the people on campus. They're not speaking with the accent, but everyone out in the city is. And they're like, hi, y'all. Welcome to the y'all gonna do that. And I'm gonna ding, ding, ding. The Virginia accent is strong once you leave campus. It's kind of interesting. But
so where is Virginia on the map?
It's on the East Coast. It's south of Maryland. So if you can imagine where DC is sandwiched between DC is right in the middle of the East Coast, right? And Virginia is on the south side of DC, and Maryland's on the north side of DC. So technically on the East Coast, right? I'm in the East Coast time, but I'm kind of a little bit more west. But I'm pretty close. I'm a couple hours away from the ocean, from the Atlantic Ocean.
What's going on with your hair?
Well, I washed it, and I haven't put any, normally I don't put product on it, but I washed it before I went to bed last night, so it's a bit poofier than usual.
It's enormous. You're getting Mathis hair. Absolutely Mathis hair.
That's just what
That's what you're
happens when
getting.
I have, like, when I don't put anything in my hair, but if I go to bed, it goes a bit insane. I got bedhead right now. I'm sorry. Thank you for noticing, though. You're trying something new with yours, I see. The
Joke.
the
Joke,
humidity
bro.
the humidity here is a bit, stifling. It's thunderstorms every day, 100-degree heat every day right now. I'm really looking forward to the fall. I know.
Are you really?
Well, the
But
Guinness
yeah,
River,
we had Sahara Sand up come over.
the
So
Sahara.
yeah, Sahara Sand, and I think I've been coughing lately because all this Sahara Sand's in the air at the moment. All the cars had this red film all over them in the
Really?
morning. Yeah, last week it happens quite a lot because the jet stream actually comes up from the Sahara when we get warm weather and drags all this dust with it. So we
Mm,
get Sahara Sand on our cars, but
Sahara
yeah,
sand. You're so far away from the Sahara, and yet you're getting sand on your cars from the Sahara?
exactly, isn't it weird?
That is weird.
Uh,
Hannah Moon
yeah,
Vegan says, "Whatever message we choose, we must always bring it back to." That's exactly why I was hired. Actually, we did role plays, and they said when we did our role plays, we tried to throw you off, but you always brought it back to the animals. And I went, "Yeah, that's how you do it. Like when they try to get you off, you pivot back to the animals in outreach, and it works. It's been really great." And even though I was really wanting to do kind of like that Cliff Grant style, like go into the middle of town and try to do something on my own, this is such a blessing because they have the literature, they have the permission to be on these campuses, they have a name like PETA too, and it's been pretty great. Yeah.
I mean, I won't go down the rabbit hole with race lever, but race we've been bombarded with all sorts of atoms and molecules and all sorts that go right through us every single day from starlight, from sunlight, and everything. So there's frequencies, there's X rays, there's ultraviolet rays, there's all sorts hitting the planet, you know. So yeah, I'm not worried about that at the moment. But on the
But
animal thing,
you do have the tin lining inside your hat though, right?
yeah, that's one thing that I did specify when
Yeah.
40-year-old vegan brought it over is
You
make sure
lined your cap with tin
it's
foil.
tinfoil lined. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it's important.
But yeah, on the bringing it back to the animals, I don't. What I say is I always bring it to the animals. I always talk about the victims. You will never lose an argument if you talk about the victim's perspective. However, what I'm saying is if you can see that person falling asleep in front of your face, find something that will trigger their interest. Go
Mhm.
down that road, and then bring it back to the animals. Definitely, all the time. That goes without doubt. And you never let them walk away without saying, "Look, there's a victim involved in your choices." You can never let them walk away without saying that. But
I
what I'm
really
saying
love
is, yes, I mean, you've just got to find ways in. You've just got to pique their interest. It's a bit like playing a stealthy game with them. You know,
Mhm.
your Trojan horse. You get your Trojan horse and you clippity clop in with your Trojan horse. And you just hit them with what you think will affect them. If they look ill, if they've got like an oxygen mask and everything, you know, you like hit them with the health arguments. You know, you just sort of if they look as though like they've got their own sort of made clothing on and they've got all the recycling bags with them, hit them with an
Mhm.
environmental issue. You know, there's
Yeah.
lots of ways in, but yeah, once you start talking about the victims in all this, then yeah, you can't lose. But
Well, that's something I really love about this VR experience is that they put the VR goggles on and they go through the experience and some of them scream and it's not like graphic, it's not like we're strapping footage to people's faces. It's a narrative where people get abducted by aliens and at the end it says like put yourself in their place. This happens to animals every day.
mm,
And and people come out they're like, "Holy shit." I had one person yesterday who's a computer science major and he goes, "Well, that message was really clear. Oh my god." And then I had a person who was a psych major is going, "Yeah, well, I can't believe I'm so afraid that I might have to experiment on animals at the end of my, to get my career started." And they're talking about it, and it's been fantastic because it puts that the victim's perspective right there, like right in your face. And I think that's great.
I mean, I don't think you can get any more sort of into that sort of framework of animals being helpless victims. I know farming and all the other abusive industries, are exactly the same, but there's
Mhm.
something more tangible about seeing a small monkey or a rabbit trussed up and having horrible things done
Oh
to
my
them,
God.
and dogs, so it's
Yeah, and it's
really does hit
dogs,
home.
cats, mice, rats, snakes, monkeys. Hey, I actually don't know about the UK. I'm guessing. I don't know. In the UK, do they still test on monkeys? Because there are 18 states left that are still testing on monkeys here in America, like the rhesus macaque. And a lot of them are just curiosity experiments. They don't even have a supposed benefit for humanity. Of course, I don't believe that there's ever been benefit to humanity through testing on monkeys, but they don't even have like a stated benefit for humanity. It's just
Do you want to hear?
curiosity.
Do you want to hear the answer to that?
Yeah, please.
It's not fucking good, mate.
Oh no.
Tens of thousands of monkeys, mainly macaques and marmosets, are used in research and testing around the world in each year. In the UK, around 3,000 monkeys are used every year. So, yeah, we ain't good. We ain't good.
Well, it's 3,000 in the UK, tens of thousands a year, most of which are going to the United States. I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's rampant everywhere. And how can these guys? Thank you, Vegan Mooncat. How can these guys look at an animal that is so
Holy
reflective
shit.
of our own sort of their
That's
eyes,
the thing,
the
Danny.
faces?
I've been saying like it feels it's a little speciesist to say like, oh my gosh, the monkeys, but at the same time, man, you look at those monkeys and you're like, they look like their face looks like your face, and
Of
their fear
course.
looks like your fear. It's so goddamn obvious.
I
It's
mean,
like,
if there's one animal that we can truly say
holy shit.
is a mirror to the human, it's the monkey.
Yeah,
There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, it requires zero imagination to understand what's happening to this poor monkey. And they're doing fear tests where like they're taking these monkeys and they open up like a guillotine door, and the monkey sees his food, and next to the food is like a snake or something the monkey might be afraid of. And the monkey, of course, is holy shit, but they're in a cage, they can't escape. And so they'll like go back and forth, and they're studying the effects of fear on these monkeys. It's like, this is just that's just torture. Oh no, we're studying the effect of fear. That's called torture, I think. And it's startlingly profound when you watch
Yeah.
it.
I mean, what they're doing it for? They're doing it for American soldiers when they go to stop them blabbing when they get tortured. Is that what they're doing it for? Why would you want to know? We know what fear does. We know exactly what the
Right.
triggers of fears are.
And they don't have a stated purpose. The stated purpose is curiosity. We want to find out what happens.
So
And they've
why
done
can't
it-
they get why can't they get humans with phobias then? Like a spider phobia and put a spider in. Why don't they do that then? That'd be more efficient, surely.
You'd think.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
It also just seems obvious. Like there's another one they did 128 bird species where they captured 128 different species of birds, probably many specimens of each, and then tested on them the same kind of thing where they would show their food and the bird would come out deep 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 deep, and then there'd be a giant spider, and it would scare the shit out of the bird. And it's like, yeah, we know birds are afraid of spiders. Why would you? Or that we know that monkeys are afraid of snakes. Like, it's just
Is
crazy.
Blah trolling me there? 2 freak shows. That's twice you've mentioned the freak shows, Blah. If you want to come on and sit with the freaks, mate, and show us how unfreaky you are, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Blah. It's from over from my channel.
I know, I can tell. Every time we broadcast to your channel, we get the haters. I don't know what it is. They like you. They like hating on you.
Yeah, they do. Come, bring the hate to me. Bring the love to Sky.
It's funny
hate to me, love to Sky.
Because I used to really enjoy Race Lever's sense of humor, and now he's just kind of gotten like just really trolly all the time. So I'm just like, I'm glad he doesn't watch my channel anymore. I used to kind of miss him because I thought he was funny. But there's a bit, what are you gonna do? I'm not for everybody. I am not for all seasons and all markets.
My philosophy is if they're listening, if they're trolling, then they're listening. You know, that's it. That's all there is to it. You know, it's the ones that aren't here, that aren't watching this right now, that we're never ever going to get the message to. So it's pointless. So there we go. We need them on.
Yeah. Allopathy.
Oh yeah, allopathic medicine. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. When you're talking what allopathy was, starts off not knowing what I'm talking about. The latest but set videos warning about allopathy. Yeah. Well, allopathic medicine. Yeah. It's an interesting one. That it's actually it's the act of fixing when it's broken, basically in the medical world, rather than preventative. We used to do preventative medicine.
Back before the pharmaceutical.
Until Rockefeller found out that you could patent drugs and you could produce vitamin pills, and then they made everyone out who did preventative medicine and all the other types of medicines out as quacks. They were quacks. They don't know what they're doing. We're going to do it this way. I could be a doctor. I could be a doctor. Someone could come to me and say, I've got this. And all I've got to do is go in my book of what's up, have a look. Oh, there you got this. Here's some pills. There you go. Off you go. That's all that doctors do nowadays.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, you know, it's funny is so my girlfriend works in the medical industry and she does a lot of intake, but she's like 65, 70% of what she does now is deal with people who are just trying to get drugs. They're just trying to get the drugs. They'll call up and they want more drugs. Well, you have to meet with your psychiatrist if in order to get re-prescribed. Why do I have to meet with them? Because that's how it works. They need to determine that you still need those drugs. They're dangerous. Well, I just need a refill of my drugs. Okay, well, you need to have a meeting with your psychiatrist. Like what this is not. They think it's like once they get it prescribed that now they have a right to those drugs and they can just call up and get them delivered like pizza.
Well, this is the thing, you know, mate. I've stopped taking my ADHD meds now because number one, I'm losing too much weight because it does suppress your appetite. It doesn't suppress your appetite as such because if I make myself something to eat, I will eat that. It doesn't kill my appetite. It just kills that trigger that says you're hungry, get something to eat. So, for example, in the morning, I'll have my breakfast, and then if I'm if I get interested in something, and I can go all the way until like early evening. Oh, excuse me, early evening, and think, oh, I haven't eaten all day, and I've lost quite a bit of weight through it. And also, a director friend of mine, I did a small scene for him in a movie. And I was actually on the meds. And the next day he rang me up and he said, you was a bit sort of blunted with your performance. It was brilliant, don't get me wrong. He said, but there was a spark missing. He said, later on when the drugs wore off, I could see you bouncing around again because this director's autistic and ADHD. He said, your performance changed completely. So, yeah, I've decided to let people accept me for who I am. If I need to take the drugs... Oh, excuse me. If I need to take the drugs to read big scripts, or if I'm feeling particularly down, or feeling a bit sort of, I don't want to be on this planet anymore, I'll take them. You know, but until that point, I don't think I need to take them every day. I've done 56 years without them. So,
I mean, I knew a lot of people in school who had ADHD, and that's what they would do. They would take it when they needed to like really sit down and concentrate, really get something done, or you know, they would take it when they really like a crutch kind of, you know, they wouldn't take it every day. It's a little weird to me that people are taking it every single day to get through their lives because how often do you really need to concentrate on shit anyway? People are I do get that. You know?
but that shows your misunderstanding of the condition. That just speaks about your misunderstanding the condition because it's not just concentrating; it's intrusive thoughts. It's like a running commentary. You know.
Oh no, I get that, but I'm just saying that you and I have talked about that before. It's just that I think that I just telling you my experience knowing other people who did something that similar to what you're talking about, where they took it when they needed it and they didn't want to take it all the time. You know, it makes sense to me.
I've just banned that blah because they're just being dicks. You know,
I'm trying to back you up, man. I'm trying to say I think you're on the right path.
Yeah, I understand that, but also it's also, you know, while I was on them, it was nice, Sky. This is what I mean. It's nice while I'm on them.
Yeah, I
Do you know what I
bet.
mean? It's just being able to have conversations with people. I drive slower. I'm not marching everywhere, because you march everywhere because your mind is about a mile in front of where you actually, so there's a lot more
Mhm.
to it. But
That makes
yeah,
sense.
again, medicine, it's like, should we really be why am I taking medicine to make me neurotypical? Why don't people
Yeah,
just accept me for being neurodiverse? That's
right,
it.
why
And
can't
that's
it
the way
just be me?
I'm moving forward. Exactly.
Well, I did wanna ask you, do you feel lonely now that you've closed down Pilgrim Pride, and what's the plan as far as your activism is concerned? Because,
Yes. No, there's more activism coming up. A recent video I did at the biggest slaughterhouse in Europe.
is that where Dave
Aaron,
got accosted?
that's where Dave. Yeah, that's yes, it was. And Aaron, who runs Manchester Pig Save, is trying to organise an event there. We found a piece of land that's in front of the slaughterhouse where we're going to set up a concert. We're going to try and get Mobius Loop there. We're going to try and get other bands and some poets there. And we're going to set up a big event there right in front of it. So yeah, it's not the end of it, and it never will be the end of Pig Save. Yes, I do feel a little bit lost and lonely, to answer your question about it. It was so on my doorstep. Now
Yeah,
it's a bit. I've got to plan the trip because it is a good
yeah.
40, 50 minutes drive as opposed to like 20 minutes.
Mm.
But again, that's better as well because it's not on my own doorstep. So there's always that sort of fear that, you're going to get followed, you're going to upset the wrong people.
Ah,
It doesn't take much for people just to throw a brick through your car windscreen as they drive by, or throw eggs in at your windows or whatever. So it's always nice to sort of be. It's called not shitting on your own doorstep, mate.
yeah, don't shit where you eat, right?
Exactly.
I like it. Well, I was worried about that actually because I know that I don't know, it's sometimes when there's excuses not to do activism, sometimes it's easy to be like, "Oh, I'll stay in bed today." But when it's right on your doorstep, it's a little easier to roll out of bed and go out and do something, you know what I mean? So, I don't want I just I really hope that you stay in the fight and
I was
shut
I
down
was
more and more. Shut down
I
more.
was I was talking to a Hungarian guy in my acting class last night. He's vegan, and he says, "No, I don't do any activism. I just leave people to do what they want." And we had a conversation last night, just a short one, and I was saying, so so if you got invited to someone's house who had a slave, a human slave, would you go and eat at the house and be waited upon by the slave? He said
Mhm.
no, and I said, so would you speak up about that? And he said yes. I said, so where's the difference with the animals then?
Yeah,
And he's
what's the
like,
difference?
you can see his mind going. "Brrr." And I said, and if you saw some woman being beaten up by a guy, would you just walk past? If that's what he does. And he said, listen, the only thing is, the difference is it's legal to eat meat and do this to animals. It's legal. That's
Slavery
why.
was
That's the
legal.
difference. I said, oh, I know, but slavery was legal back in the day.
Mhm.
I said, abusing women was legal back in the day. So
Still is in
that's
many
not a
countries.
reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, with the internet, there's so many other ways and
Well,
means
what's scary too
of
is,
getting
like,
messages out there.
this year we've seen in the UK and in the United States cases where people have killed like swans or geese that are in the parks. I think Joey did one about the one in the UK. Something happened in Syracuse, New York, where someone stole the eggs of a swan and killed the mama swan and then stole the little cygnets, the little babies, and there was prosecution. There was a crime like if it was done anywhere else, it's perfectly acceptable to prosecute these people, to put them in jail, and make sure they stay behind bars or at least hefty fines. This is what drives me crazy. Okay, well, it's not legal. As long as it's legal, it's okay. All right, well, it's not, dude. It's only legal when it's behind the closed doors of a slaughterhouse. That makes zero sense. It's illegal if you do it here, but legal if you do it there. That makes no sense to me because the victim's perspective hasn't changed.
Well, they're talking about banning some sort of bull terrier in the UK because it attacked a child. I'm not going to look it up. So basically, what they're saying is we're gonna ban these breeds,
The breeds,
right?
yeah.
Because they're uncontrollable.
That comes up every couple of years, doesn't it?
And then they're going to put a cap on how much you can charge for
Mhm.
dogs, which is what is that is going to do is going to put these backstreet breeders right against a wall. And what they're going to do, they're going to have less regard for the animals because they're not going to be worth as much to them. At least
my-
while they were worth a bob or two, they'd look after them. But now, if they don't sell them, bag, brick, river. That's what's going to happen.
Oh my
They just
God, dude.
want to stop all breeding completely, all pet breeding in the UK. That's
Yeah,
what we want.
breeding
All pet
injunction.
breeding, full stop.
I want a breeding injunction. One of the things they made us watch that for the training was PETA's mobile spay and neuter vans, and they're out. They call it the it's CAP. It's Community Animal Project, and they'll go out to these places where these poor dogs, like they call them bait dogs for the fighting dogs. They're just smaller. They're smaller dogs, smaller pit bulls that can't really fight, so they take the big ones and the big ones chew them up. And these PETA vans go out there and they're just trying to feed them and give them. If you allow them to spay or neuter your dog, you get a free dog house, and they'll like set up the dog's area to be nice. But PETA says we'll take your dog and we'll try to find him a home, and they're like, no, I own that dog. You know, it's weird, dude. People are weird about dogs, and cats too, right? And it was so tragic. The video footage of them following around the cap vans. Holy shit, the stuff that they see, man.
I mean, we see it all the time. This speciesism, we see it all the time. We've got a TV show called Gogglebox, right?
Mm.
And it's basically people watching TV shows. They're on the sofa at home and they're watching TV, and it's their reaction to TV shows, and it's become really popular in the UK.
Oh yeah.
And when it shows these nature programs where these animals are fleeing for their life and some predators coming after them, and the way they scream and shout and cry, physically cry over these animals getting killed or hurt, especially the one where it showed the little chicks that jump off the cliff and they're that sort of light and downed that they just about survived the fall from this massive rocky outcrop. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but they sat there eating chicken wings. It's like, you know, come on.
Yeah, eating one animal and being crying about another. It's unbelievable to me. One thing that someone just put up here, someone from your chat just said that, dang it, said something about how everyone and their mother is trying to get ADD medication, and there's a shortage. I can't find that topic anymore, but most people are saying glad you stopped the meds and things like that. But
yeah, I saw that one. Glad you stopped the meds. Hope you feel better about being med free. It takes a lot of hard internal work to achieve. Yeah, alternate measures, and especially in my acting career, it's very hard to react, get a quiet mind, and sort of progress. But I am progressing in that now, and I'm trying everything I can to sort of do that. Everyone in the mum claims to have ADHD now, so there's
that's the one.
Meds. Yeah.
So what's interesting? Have you heard about the new medical shortage in America? What's happening? You're gonna love it.
So go on.
Laxatives. No one can get laxatives. It's partly because of the American diet and everyone not being able to shit. It's partly because of this propaganda that you're supposed to take a shit every single day, maybe twice a day. And they're like, no, a lot of healthy people take a shit every 2 or 3 days. It's not like there's this thing. Every human being must take a shit X amount of times per day. And toxic diet culture where people are taking more laxatives again. It's trendy again to take laxatives to lose weight. And it's like, it seems like such an American problem to have laxative shortage.
You know, well, I mean, even on, I mean, a lot of Americans suffer from verbal diarrhea as well. They never stop. You know, they need something to bung them up, like a fucking donut or something. But yeah, it's I mean, you can fool the system. There's what they have in the UK at the moment is if you want to jump the queues, you pay. So to get an ADHD diagnosis, you pay £500. And there has been an investigation into it, and they've found that a lot of people who have been diagnosed are not ADHD. And the stats are that about 2 to 3%, probably the same as vegans on the planet, is are actually ADHD, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't want. I don't know how anybody can sort of like fake it. Who'd want to fake it?
I took a little bit of Adderall when I was in college a couple times because, like, you're writing 24 hours or you're reading 24 hours.
So you
I
took
think
it as a recreational drug.
I would say as a performance enhancing drug, maybe
So
twice,
so you
3
think
times
people
now.
are doing this to try and get these performance enhancing drugs?
In
And
college, I knew a lot of people who were doing it a lot, yeah, and so but I could take I should take half a pill and stay up and stay focused and stay happy about doing it. Like, oh, I'm enjoying this. I have the energy to do it. I can focus. So yeah, it's like taking yeah, go pills, right? They give pilots something like Adderall so that they can stay up in the air and keep flying longer,
that was back in the day, yeah, yeah.
like
I think
fighter pilots.
that was fighter pilots
Yeah,
during the yeah. They reckon that was the cause of a lot of friendly fire though. It was
probably.
during the Iraq War. I think you're
Right.
talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it was during the Iraq War, and a lot of these guys who were taking this were making really bad decisions
because
because
it doesn't make you, yeah, it's you could stay up for 24 hours, but you're not going to be making the greatest decision on hour 23, right?
you see the thing is when I take this drug, okay, I don't get hyper. It actually brings me up from
Well,
hyper. It's weird. It brings me from hyper down to normal. It
right. But
levels me out,
it
and then
affects you the opposite the way it would affect me,
for
basically.
anybody else, yeah.
Yeah.
And then by 7, 8 o'clock at night, it's wearing off, And I've even had a nap on the sofa, halfway through taking the pill, halfway through the day. So it's not the same effect. Whereas neurotypical would be running around and have the cleanest house in their country.
Yeah,
After
and
taking
have
one of these.
enjoyed doing it. That was the other thing. What I thought was really amazing about Adderall, we called it A plus, and or Diet Coke, because it would give you all of like that euphoria of cocaine without any of the jitteriness. You could just sit there and focus and read. And like if you were like, I got to read a novel and it's going to take me 5 hours to read this novel, you could take that pill and on the other side of that 5 hours, remember everything, feel like great that you did it, and not be drowsy while you're doing it. It was great. I didn't do too much because it is addictive. A lot of people get addictive to it. Like I said, I think I did it twice, maybe 3 times when I was in college, when I had major term papers due or something like that.
It's
Uh,
not. It's not physically addictive. It's not a physically addictive drug. You get addicted to the effects
Right.
and the fact that you've got more energy, and you'll probably, yeah. It's one of those with it. It's not. If you can stop taking them, and you wouldn't sort of like. It's not like heroin. You don't get physically addicted to it. You don't sort of get ill.
Right.
Do
It's like
you see what I
cocaine.
mean?
Yeah, it's like
It,
cocaine. You don't get
it,
physically addictive either, but you get addicted to the euphoria and the thrill.
Euphoria,
Yeah.
exactly, and the fact that your personality changes and everything,
Yeah.
and it is nice. It is nice. Taking the Elvance, my personality does change. I've got more time for people. I'm slower. I listen more, but it's just not me. So it's just easy for me to pre-warn people and just say, "Look, I'm ADHD. I might say something really fucking stupid out there, but yeah, if you don't like it, walk away now." It's one of
Yeah.
those. I'm too old
Have
to
a
be
good one.
bothered now.
Yeah, I hear that. I think, I kind of wish that I had a diagnosis myself to explain all of my all of my foibles. But
I don't think you've got any foibles. I think you're a really nice guy, and I think
thank you. You're just saying that, but I appreciate you.
I'm not just saying that. I mean it. I mean
Yeah,
it.
I well, I thank you. At least I'm trying. I'm trying to put myself out there. I'm in the danger zone now. I'm doing something that
You're
outside
doing
my
something
comfort,
amazing, mate. You're doing something amazing.
way
You
outside my
know,
comfort zone, man. The first 3 days I was on this job, I didn't eat because I was so like my stomach was in knots. I was worried about home and everything going on there. I couldn't eat. And now I feel like I'm getting a stride. Now that we're on the move, I feel like I'm getting better. But it's been
I've got
fun.
I've got to train my mustache. I need to train it to split in the middle there. I want to sort of train it. I've got to keep combing it so it.
Have you put any mousse or anything in it?
I've got some animal friendly vegan mousse. Yeah, so I put that on it.
Yeah.
but I don't want it to go down because I think it makes you look sad when you go down that way.
Oh, you like what's his name? Like
I might
Smokey
make
the
it into
Bandit?
I'm going to make it into a smile, so I'm going to curl it up at the end and make it into a
Oh, I like
smile.
that.
So it's
But you could
got
be
that
like
permanent
you would
smile.
look like a badass biker with the Burt Reynolds mustache.
Well, do you know what the brief was for this movie that I'm auditioning for?
What's that?
It's if Clint Eastwood was a Jew.
I'm sure he would love that.
If Clint Eastwood was a 50-year-old Jew, I am.
He's an 80-year-old right-wing nut job, but I like it.
I am Clint Eastwood. Oh, I said Chinese. Why did they go to Chinese then? Chinese Clint Eastwood. I'm Chinese Clint Eastwood.
Oh no! Don't do that.
No.
You're gonna get me canceled. Why would you do that? Every time I have you on, Jesus Christ! God damn it! God damn it! Don't do
Is
the
it time for
Chinese
me to
voice,
say bye-bye
please.
again?
Yes. All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna do the word of the day and the affirmation over on my channel.
Listen, people. This isn't why Sky's kicking me off at all. It wasn't because of the Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. It's not because of that.
Don't do that.
I won't do it. But listen,
Do the real
people.
Clint Eastwood. Can you do a real Clint Eastwood? Like, this is a Magnum 357 to blow your head clean off.
That was a
Clean
really gay Clint Eastwood.
You always talked a little bit like I always felt that he and Ronald Reagan were doing impressions of each other. Yes. Just blow you clean off.
And you know what the best thing is about me signing off your stream now, Sky, is that it carries on my channel. So I'm like, yeah, Sky, you earn me money, boy. You earn me some money. No, don't cancel it. No, don't cancel it.
As soon as you walk away, I'm going to hit that button and then cut it off. So all those people have to come to me.
So listen, people, if you haven't subscribed already, please go over to my channel, Grumpy Vegan Grandad.
Yeah.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell. My people, if you haven't subscribed to Sky already, please subscribe to him. He brings out some amazing content. He goes live way more than me, and he produces content way more than me. It's not always brilliant. It's not always consistent. However, he does produce content. Where mine is very few, but it's always something on point when I do mine. So please stick with me. Save the animals, save the planet, save yourself. Go vegan, people, please.
Go vegan for the love of Christ. All right, I'll see you next month. Thank you so much, dude.
They're coming for you, Sky. They're coming for you. Hide the shit, man. Hide the Adderall.
That's an ambulance. I hope they're not
coming for me. Hide the Adderall.
Hide the Adderall. I'm hiding the Adderall. Everything's good. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We're gonna skip the on this day in history, unless let's see if there's any vegans Are there any vegans who have their birthday today? What do you think? It's September 13th, and I don't think there are any vegans with their birthday today. The one word we could use to describe Sky is consistent. Yeah, you could at least say that, right? He says, I'm not consistent. I'm very consistent. I'm hella consistent. On this day in history, we have the Holy Sepulchre, and let's see. It's a little weird to go back. The Grand Assault on Gibraltar. Wow, September 13th. I just want to jump down to the birthdays. Are there any vegans in here? Arnold Schoenberg. Arnold Schoenberg is one of my favorite musicians. He's a great composer. His music is insane. If you don't know who Arnold Schoenberg is, I highly recommend checking him. And here we have Roald Dahl, who probably should have been vegan but wasn't. Claudette Colbert. Who's that? An actress. Oh, It Happened One Night. Oh my God, that's a great movie. Happened One Night. It won a bunch. It was like It Happened One Night is a wonderful film. If you haven't seen that, please do. Let me see if there are any other vegan. Are there any vegans up in here? Laura Second, John J. Pershing. I don't see Daniel Defoe. No vegans, I don't think. Celebrity birthdays. Thomas Müller. No. What about in the deaths? Did anyone die today that was interesting? Philip II the same. Titus. Tupac Shakur died today. That makes sense. George Wallace died. Good. George Wallace supposedly, when he died, said he apologized to African Americans because he single-handedly attempted to make sure that they couldn't go to school in America. George Wallace and Amon Goeth died on the same day. Amon Goeth was the person in charge of the concentration camp in Schindler's List. Amon Goeth was played by Ralph Fiennes in that movie. He was hanged at the end of the war for crimes against humanity. Amon Goeth, today in 1946, died. Tupac Shakur, 6 days ago, was shot outside my bar in Las Vegas. I remember that happened in high school, but then I ended up managing the bar where he was shot. And I've always found that to be personally very touching, the death of Tupac Shakur. His last words were, "I ain't no snitch and I don't talk to cops." And then he died. Well, he went into a coma and died 6 days later in Los Angeles, California. He lived and died in LA. So hope all you vegans have a better day than Tupac Shakur, because he died today. The word of the day is abstain. Abstain, of course, if you're vegan, you already know that we abstain from all animal use and abuse. We don't abuse. Animal abusers are total losers. Please abstain from all animal use. I think it's a great word. I think it's abstinence. I'm only abstinent. I only profess abstinence when it comes to using animals. The doctor insisted that Drew abstain from eating for at least 12 hours before his blood test. 10 members voted for the proposal, 6 members voted against it, and 2 abstained. Oh yeah, if you don't vote, you're abstaining too as well. I'm going to skip the context. Did you know if you abstain, you're consciously and usually with effort choosing to hold back from doing something that you would like to do? Lucky for you, we'd never abstain from sharing a good bit of word history. Abstain traces back through Middle English and Anglo-French the Latin verb abstinere, which combines the prefix ab, away, far off, to tenere, meaning to hold. Awesome. Tener is still something we use as the verb to have in Spanish. Tenere has many offspring in English, which is contain, detain, maintain, obtain, pertain, retain, and sustain, as well as some words that don't end in tain, such as tenant and tenacious. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that tener. Oh, that's kind of cool. Now I know. Abstain, like many of its cousins, has been used by English speakers since at least the 14th century. So there you go, vegans. I hope that you use abstain in your activism. When you're arguing with carnies in the comment section, abstain is a wonderful word. Please abstain from using animals always. I abstain from being a pick-me vegan like reasonable vegan. I abstain from ingratiating myself to the to carnies. Nice. JFK and C.S. Lewis both died on the same day. Interesting. There you go. You have some people. How are they alike? Do they share? If you're born on the same day, that determines your horoscope. If you die on the same day, is there a death horoscope? Think about it. Shouldn't the death of, if you die, shouldn't that determine your personality as much as your birth? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe you know better than me. Is someone of the horoscope? Is there a death horoscope? I think there should be. All right. Today is the 3rd of September, and we do have a wonderful affirmation of the day. This is your daily affirmation for vegans only. Here we go. I am much stronger than my excuses. I am much stronger than my excuses. I feel like I want to use that all the time now. I'm much stronger than my excuses. When people tell me they've got excuses for not going vegan, I can say, well, I'm going vegan. I'm much stronger than my excuses. When my mind conjures up reasons why I shouldn't be happy, I overcome those doubts and fears with unwavering grace. I know I deserve to be happy no matter what. I know the animals deserve to be happy no matter what. I'm stronger than my excuses. I hope that you're stronger than your excuses. Illegitimy non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Thank you, vegans. Bye.
It's so hard.
Oh, is this so hard?
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
Carnies can fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves.
This is a show for vegans. This is a show for vegans. This is a show for vegans.
Thank you to Grumpy Vegan Granddad for being here. Thank you to everyone. My next stop is in Richmond, Virginia. I hope to see some of you there. I don't know what the situation will be, but I will be in Richmond before we broadcast again. This is the last broadcast from Williamsburg. So I'll see you on the other side. And illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. And thanks. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.